Okay, I hope I managed to get the only problem will be that whenever I go further, it will be an issue seeing. But I managed to set the camera to focus very close up. And let me get this shared on Facebook because I forgot to share the first one. And they did reschedule the storm. It was supposed to be here at 1. Now it says that it's between, I'm in the area of between 2 and 6 o'clock, so probably it won't get here until 2:30, 3 o'clock. Hello again, Robin. So first, let's take care of this because we'll need it to be cooled off to be able to put it on the little dragon. So yeah, right now you won't see very well. As I said, I managed to get the camera to focus in a close-up, so it won't be very good in a farther away. So as you can see, this is not very translucent right now, and with Kato you always have to, it does have translucency, but with Kato you always have to do a final cure with the heat gun, and that's what I'm going to do. And first to let your heat gun heat up a little bit. Okay. And now we are going to very gently start removing this from here. Number one, I'm going to, let me see if it does better like this. I'm going first to use my X-Acto knife to gently trim from here. For now, this is a rough trim. You see how I'm not going all the way to the wire. And then I'm going to trim here as well. Again, a fairly rough trim, but that will help when I'm trying to remove the wing from the tile, because that's the most tedious thing. That's when it can break, and you need to be very careful. And you'll have some residue on the tile, but it's very easy to remove when you rub it with alcohol. And at this point, I am not seeing the chat. I'm very focused to get the, okay, is it too close or too far? to make sure that I am in the camera's focus. Because this is a tiny thing and I want to be able, for you to be able to see everything that I'm doing. Come on, get off. Okay, then keep this handy, but essentially you try to scrape it off. Pressing against the tile. The stuff that I trimmed and it didn't come off. And there we go. And there we got it. Where is the camera here? So this is the wing. Now what we are going to do is to trim it properly. As remember I said that we need this area to be pretty much like a bat's wing. Can you use just the X-Acto knife? Yeah, you can. The problem is that if you have put any of those nail thingies, it will not cut through them. This one already has it. And this will be the inside of the wing. And you can make it more, I mean, actually, let me show you. You can make it more translucent just with the heat gun. Because it's not very translucent at this point. Put the camera away a little. Now it's all nice and transparent all the way, front and back. But yeah, as I said, for the Kato polyclay to get completely translucent, you always need to use the heat gun on it, and it's a tad hot. And let me check the chat while it's... Welcome back, everybody. Hi, Chris. Okay. Now, I'm still waiting for it to cool off a bit. Well, let's put it to the side for now and get on to the little guy. Move the screen, switch the screen to make sure that I'm in the... Okay. Oh, this is hot. I'm going to use now, obviously, bake and bond. And I'm going first to do the body. And we need to kind of rub it all over because we want that to stick. And of course, I place some bake and bond on the tile. Oh, what I forgot to do is to pass this through the pasta machine. Do. And we go with the bake and bond all over. And work in parts. Don't try to do it all at once because it's going to be very hard. You can even use successive baking sessions. When I used to make these for vending at fairs, I would make like between 5 and 10 at a time. And I would first do for all the armature, then for all the clay armature, then for all the bottom, you know, and then I would, while half of them was baking, I was working on the other half. But that way I was sure that I wouldn't mess up, you know, if, like this, if my hand would slip or something, I had them already half baked. So we start exactly like we did with the other one. This should have been a bit thinner, but oh well, it can be thinned out as I sculpted. And remember, this is not this blue. It's way more purplish than what you see on the screen. This really needs to be thinner because I don't want him to have elephant legs. And here we can get a piece of the thicker one. So first, all you do is first you cover up the base. And then we start with the sculpting per se. So all you need to do first is to place a fairly even layer of clay. Oh yeah, duh, I didn't put bacon bond on this. Of course it won't stick. And make sure you don't place bacon bond on the eyes. Because even if we are going to do eyelids, we don't want them to get nasty. So yeah, when you make one of these, the beginning is not a lot of fun. But while you're making the structure, keep thinking how cute it's going to be. And I promise you, it will be very cute. Okay. Your only enemy right now will be the bacon bond getting on your fingers. So you might have to wipe your fingers from time to time. But that's not such a big disaster. And of course, there are ways to make a baby dragon much easier in the kawaii style. Maybe I'll show you one day, because those are they take like 15 minutes to make one. But they are less detailed than these ones. Okay, so now we are going to cover the back of the head. And place one strip between the eyes. And then cover whatever little spots there might be. And then we let it rest a minute so that bacon bond gets all thick. And we'll take care a little bit of the wings. Let me check the... Okay. Oh yeah, it's Oklahoma. And we've been having rain and storms for like 2 weeks now. I have no idea. And they are not that severe, and we had a really good year. As in, no, not a lot of tornadoes. It's actually pretty amazing how little tornadoes we had. Okay, now what we need to do, because now it's cooled off, now we need to do the finer trimming. I mean, my little scissors are not in a good shape. Let me try and see if this will work better. I would suggest you use scissors for this if you have a pair of cuticle scissors that work better than mine. Mine are just a mess. I really need to get some new ones. Because you want to trim this as close to the wire as possible. And the liquid clay here is quite thick. And that's why it's going to be a little hard to do it with the X-Acto knife. And one side. That's actually pretty good. Now this should be properly dried out, and now we start the labor of love that is smoothing out your clay. Because first you want to obtain a nice smooth surface, and then we'll talk about scales and other things. But first you want a nicely packed, tight, smooth surface. And if you see that you have anywhere a little bit of gap, just place another piece of clay and cover it up. And you might want to ask, why don't you condition the clay much softer for this? Because I will want a lot of detail, and if the clay is too soft, it will not hold detail. That's the problem. But no worries, this can be smoothed out very nicely without any issues. Too bad that YouTube has such weird things and you cannot even interject anything. Because I would like to have some music in the background and I could get the Kevin MacLeod music, but there's no way for me to put a caption somewhere that would say the required, you know, Creative Commons license and all that. Oh well. Guess we'll have to make do without musics. Almost done. And here we will place the wings. Because once we finish smoothing this out, that's when we start with the whole sculpting part. I'm telling you, until I finish rearranging this whole room, is going to be such a mess, and I cannot really finish rearranging until I'm done with the store. So it's gonna take a few more days, and I'm going to be super annoyed because I think I told you I have a mild OCDness, not so much OCDness, but I don't like it when things are in disarray. And they do get in disarray, and I can accept a certain level of disarray I can live with for a while, but when everything is all, I don't really like to be in a house that looks like it's from the cover of a magazine and nobody lives in there. But I don't like disarray either. I don't know if that makes sense. Hey, what is it? I know, there's a storm, I know. I know. Remember, Seamus is very, very terrified of storms, so whenever it seems like there's going to be one, he starts being all clingy. Yes, I know, baby. I know. It's okay. You'll be fine, I promise you will be fine. Okay, now let's smooth out a little bit the head and let's start actually shaping the head. So, see, it looks kind of pitiful right now. So what we need to do, now remember, for one of your little animals to look cute, what does it have to have? It has to have big eyes. Generally speaking, the eyes should be kind of towards the front. And this one got a little covered here. So let's first make some eyelids. I'm doing a little snake here. String, not snake, actually. Relatively even. And then I'm going to go with this can be a paintbrush handle or whatever you want it to be, to flatten it out a little bit. And then part of the string, I will keep it as is, as a string, that is, but I will make it a little bit thinner. So I'm going to create the eye socket where the lids will go. And generally, the rounder the eyes, the more the perception of cute. See how I have a little hole here that needs to be covered up. So now I created my eye socket. I need a little piece here. Need a bigger piece here. And don't worry too much because I'll show you how to smooth out everything. So with the little string, once again, we actually already covered this part here because it's going to give me trouble like on the other side. Once again, I get the little string. I'm going to loop it around the bead and create the eye socket. Make sure that both eyes are the same. See, this one went a little bit too much down. In shape for now. We'll come back to the eyes here in a little bit. So now we got the eyes. Now we need a little snout. Excuse me. Oh, I'm going to make a... Come on, get out of here. I'm going to make a little ball of clay. And I'm going to flatten it and make it more ovaloid. And then cut this end, because if I put it like this, then I'll have to do a lot of smoothing and blending, and I don't want to have to do that. So let's see, where do we want the snout? You want the snout quite a bit high here, because that's when it's going to look the cutest. I mean, look at the, if I put it lower, he's going to look more like a little horsey, but if I put it higher, he's going to look much cuter. And let's give it a little bit of a chin as well. And we may even put a little mouth and tongue and stuff in there. So for the lower lip, I'm actually making a triangle. Not very pointy triangle. And I'm going to place it right here. Now, another way to make, well, I did it a little wrong, but it's kind of hard to, I'm working in the screen. Another way that you can make this is to actually make, if you don't want to bother with making a little tongue sticking out or whatever, you make a much larger bow. And the same, you flatten it. This time you don't ovalize it, but you still want to kind of trim all the back because you don't want to have to blend the whole thing. And then you place it on the snout again, a little up. like this. And then you go ahead and blend it. I'm going to have to turn it around. It's hard to work like that. Another thing that you want to do, because another symbol of cuteness, and I'll show you how we finish this in a second. Another symbol of cuteness is a rounded forehead. You know how kids have toddlers have a pretty round forehead and tall. And that's another symbol of cuteness. And most of the baby animals have that. So you want to bring this little guy's forehead a little bit forward and check after you blend. That's when we start shaping. Blend all these edges, and then we shall start shaping it. And don't worry, it's going to take you, after you try the first one, it's going to take you much less. It takes me a lot of time right now because I have to do it in front of the camera and all that, but they are not that hard to make. Okay, now let me show you. See the profile? What you want on this profile is to bring the forehead a little bit forward. Still keep it fairly round, but get it a tad forward, because we are going to put some little ears here and all that. But you want a nice rounded, kind of protruding a little bit head. Sorry, I'm trying to find all my sculpting stuff that was here and it just disappeared. Goodness. Okay. And don't worry much about other elements at this point. At this point, you're just shaping the little face of the dragon. After which you'll start coming with making the eyelids and making all that. So for a toddler, what we need to do now is to bring this even a little bit higher, but then make a crease here, pretty much. So, okay, where's my... I just worked with that blue paintbrush. There it is. So I'm going to go a little bit like this. And then push this a little bit upwards. See how the little toddler face starts forming. And let's make it a little bit not too wide, just a little bit like this, and keep the snout upwards. And more rounded here. Now, let's make it a cute little mouth. To make a cute little mouth, we'll go like, and he has a little bit too much chin here. Let's get rid of some of this chin. See how he had too much chin in that spot. So, because the chin is very small in the faces that are perceived as cute and needing help and all that. Okay, so we have this for now. Let's make it a cute mouth. And remember, if you're not happy with it, you can always undo it. Unfortunately, I'll have to, let me try and see if I can do it this way. Okay, so for a cute little mouth with not a lot of chin, we are going to go pretty much like this. Doesn't look too specially cute right now, does it? I'll show you how you can change this. Let's push the lower lip in a little bit. Reinforce the line. And remember what I was telling you, that the gum cleaner is an invaluable tool whenever you try to do sculpting, because there are so many things you can use it for. Number one, let's make it some cute little nostrils. This, it's a little bit more this crease here. Let's make him a little some cute little nostrils. So let's go about here. And put the other one in the same spot, symmetrically. And see, when you enlarge the nostril, you work with the tip of this inside. Let's refine it a little bit. And of course, you can go and smooth this out some. But the most important thing, let's give it a smile. Mm. And now you can start refining the whole thing. I know, I know. You can even make the bottom area, I know, the bottom area narrower. and more in and reduce some of the chin. Go away! I know. See, even more chinless. It will make it even cuter. So it would be something, let me see, something like this, of course, refined here. And yes, a lot of the baby animals, especially the ones with snouts of some sort, you can go with the same type of, I mean, if you want to do, for example, baby goat, calf, baby horse, even a baby hippopotamus, the same as for a baby dragon. This would be the kawaii kind of thing, and you want to go in and kind of bring out the cheek, the corner of the cheek, to give it a more dimply smile if you want, and then you just enhance it like this. So you go in, you bring the clay from the inside, you push it from the inside, and then you simply give it a little crease here. So let me try and get a better. So something like this. Of course, and you shape here and all that, but this is the idea. Now let's do it in a different way. But you know what? Let's leave this for Sunday, because I'm afraid that the storms are coming and I started getting a lot of pain. But let's continue this Sunday, and I'll show you a different type of snout, the one with the little tongue. I thought that this one was the easiest to make. So that's why I wanted to show you this one, because it's the easiest. But Sunday we'll do the one with the little dragon having his little mouth open with the tongue sticking out. And then in the meantime, I'll make sure that I smooth out everywhere so I don't keep you waiting. And then we can go straight at finishing it. Okay? I hope you don't mind too much, but it's a matter of the weather and the way it affects me. Okay, so we'll have, unless otherwise announced due to weather, we'll finish this on the next live Sunday at noon as usual. And thank you all for being here. And I really need to go lay down. But we'll finish the little dragon, and as I said with the little wings before I go, the little wings, why you have to make them with the liquid clay? Because you go ahead and you shape them the way that they will get on him. That's why you cannot do them with resin. So he's going to be pretty much like this, something like this. And we'll cover this up with clay, and then we'll have some clay coming this way too, and on the tips of the wings. But he's going to go something like this. Hold on. something like this. And even more curved inside, but look like a real dragon wing, not like a something like this. But I guess I will see you on Sunday at noon as usual, and we'll continue and we'll do the other type of dragon face, and of course we'll put him some ears, because without ears he looks a little bit stupid, of course, and we'll give him some nice dragonish scales and protrusions, because once we give him some ears it's going to look much better. But yeah, so I'll see you all Sunday, and thank you for being here. He will be a cutie, I promise you. Okay, have a great weekend, all of you, and see you Sunday. Happy playing.